Today we'll be prepping, priming, and painting the interior of our new custom cabin. That's coming up next on this episode of Do It with Darryl. We got an early start this morning at JR's Bravo location. Ty was the first one on the scene to unlock the shop. He quickly gets to work, grinding off any edge details that may have been missed in his first pass. Using a rotary Dremel style tool, Ty can get into the tight corners to smooth any of the rough edges. This inspection also allows him to clean up any suspect weld joints. Soon, Ryan and Bailey arrived to get started on the preparation for priming. This involves giving the flat surface a light sanding to clean up any weld splash. It also creates a better surface for the primer coat to adhere to. The guys then wipe down the entire interior with lacquer thinner to remove any grease or contaminants before the painting. Ty starts laying up the plastic sheeting that will be used to cover the windows and other openings to prevent the overspray from drifting into the shop. Jevon arrived to take on the job of caulking the entire interior. This was no small job.
Come on! Let's go, boys.
Are you ready for this?
Whoop, 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 whoop.
So what's the plan, Jev? What are we doing?
The concept here is we don't want to do, despite of what you might think, you cannot weld too much in some places because it gets so hot and it distorts and makes it all look terrible.
That's what you were telling us with the roof, right? That's why we're stitching it.
That's right. So we're gonna stitch it on here so it's structurally sound enough. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to infill it with a little bit of the special sealant so it all looks seamless and it will all look bodyworked and it will look like one piece of metal.
When it's painted.
Correct.
So you're going to go in the roof lines or just
anything that's going to be existing visually. The roof does not get painted because we insulate and panel it. So all the interior fixtures,
like this seam, you're going to fill that so it's perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, and so what is this?
A special sealant.
Okay.
You want to try it?
No, I don't want to eat that.
You can see the texture difference, but once the paint gets applied, the epoxy, two-part epoxy, it's a high build, and it'll all look like one part.
We're just finishing up the final specs. So we got the new galley in place. It's ready to get painted, and we have our storage and our fold down seats on this side. We are so close. Right now, Jevon's getting ready to paint the boat, so we're getting in the water pretty soon. In a few hours, the caulking will have cured and be ready for the first coat of primer. This gives Jevon time to get the large exhaust fan set up. Next, Jevon describes the properties of this unique, high-build, two-part epoxy primer.
In the automotive world, apparently, if there's small blemishes in the finish, this high build primer will go on really thick, so then they can actually sand it out. We don't need to do that in this application. We're actually looking for a big thick coat. And the textured paint that goes on top of this fills any imperfections that you see in there. So it literally blends out like a fiberglass boat. It will look like it's fiberglass inside.
Right.
Everything will be smooth and soft.
Yeah, I've seen
So
it.
cool.
I've seen it on the other boat. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, it comes out real neat. So this is a new combo though, so we're excited to check it out.
Right on. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
Let's go. Let's go.
Cool.
He mixes the two parts in small batches that will fill the gravity-fed paint canister. Then, he selects the correct size spray tip for this application. The thickness and consistency of this primer dictates the exact size nozzle that must be used. Jevon suits up and gets ready for the first coat. Using a piece of scrap aluminum, he does a few test sprays to ensure that everything is set up correctly. Then, he moves on to the support ends for the galley countertop. These will get bolted in later. Next, it was time to head inside. In just a few minutes, the plastic sheeting took on an eerie green glow. After about 2 hours, Jevon had the primer coat finished. We decided to let the primer cure overnight and tackle the next coat in the morning. We're back here at JR's Bravo shop. Yesterday, Jevon painted the whole inside of the boat with our first undercoat layer. And today, we're gonna be doing the black spray coat over top. Now, the black coating is textured, and so you will end up seeing little speckles of green come through the black. I am so excited for this. Let's see how he does. Once again, Jevon suits up and gets ready for the next coat. Now, it was time to decide how much of the textured paint we wanted to apply. So after a few more test sprays, we settled in on the look we were going for. Jevon headed inside to tackle the interior. This was a tricky balance between too much and not enough. And it had to look consistent. After about an hour and a few more refills, he was done. I was so excited to see the final result, and I was curious to see how our paint cam worked. We built a camera housing using a cardboard box and a piece of picture glass to protect our camera. This is going to be interesting. We were all really excited with the final look. Once the more neutral cushions, seating, and bedding are installed, the overall impression will be more of an accent. I'm so glad you could see this part of the process, so thanks for watching. And I'll see you next Saturday on another episode of Do It with Darryl.